Hey, it's Steven from the Green Engineers and welcome to my update video. So this is an update video as well as talking about the shredder and its upcoming production. So first let's start with the update here, because again 11 1/4 minute generally I shoot these videos. So this is my garage. I've cleaned off this area here, and now this is kind of my workstation. And this is where I'm going to be manufacturing all of my parts and my components, and also cleaning up the rest of the garage. As you see, the other sides need to be worked on a little bit more. So this right here will be, I'll get a piece of sheet metal made that goes on top of this table. It'll have a nice piece of sheet metal on top. I'll have my tools and stuff for just manufacturing these three components, of course, which is, or four components I guess, or four machines, which is the shredder, which is the reclaimer, the multi-extruder, which is version 1 of my open source filament maker, then my version 2, which is the Filafactory, and then the 3D printer, which is the EcoBase. So those four machines will be manufactured here on this desk here with different machines that I've yet to have here. I just went up to what's it called, Harbor Freight, and got a 5-speed drill press here, and this is pretty much all I need. I have it set right now at the lowest speed, 760 RPM. It's got a 3/5 horse, and I loaded it with a nice 1/4 inch carbide drill. And really the drill is what makes the drill press, not necessarily the drill press itself. So that carbide drill rips right through steel. So that guy is 2 inches too tall, and I knew that going into it, so I'm going to cut this cover off, and I'm going to load it up into this shelf right here. And so, because obviously I'm not going to be able to open this. And then eventually I'm going to put a DC outrunner on here, you know, for like RC cars or whatever, like a 1 horsepower. And then I'm just going to load it at its lowest RPM setting here, and then it'll have a variable speed. But right now this is pretty much the only holes I'm going to be drilling are for 1/4 20 taps. So they are number 7, a number 7 drill, or I think it's a 201 diameter drill. So I have that drill, and then I have some high-speed steel backups, and I'll probably order a couple of those. Instead of at the tool store, I'll order those from China, big bulk of them. And then I have some regular taps, some regular high-speed steel taps, and I might get some carbide 1/4 20 taps. So I have, this is my main one, and then I have a $1.20, like a $1.24 backup from Harbor Freight. And then I got my punch here for making my holes before I have some sort of mill. Eventually I'm going to be building a mill that goes in this corner here where this toolbox is at. And then I'm going to have a CO2 laser cutter for my bamboo EcoBase 3D printer, which I just got the rest of my plywood from the school. So now it's here. So I have 3 sheets of 1/4 20 plywood bamboo right here. So you see 3 ply here, and check it out. So this is the plywood boards here. And then I have my prototype cut out up here, that after I do the reclaimer, and then I do so reclaimer, multi-extruder, and then Filafactory, then it's the EcoBase 3D printer. And so here's my prototype of my cutout right here that I have waiting for me. And then that's a shelf for storage for multi-extruder stuff. So so here I'm going to have my drill press. Probably going to be, obviously the handle's on the right side, so it's probably going to be over here. And then I'm going to have a CO2 laser cutter. I'm going to have maybe a vise, something like this, or maybe something bigger, like that vise right there. So CO2 laser cutter on this corner, drill press on that corner. I'm going to have a belt 3D printer. I'm going to have a straight down tap. There's like a tower piece with a straight down tap. It looks like a arbor press, but it's so you could go straight up and down with the tap. So that guy will line up the tap and help me put straight quarter 20 threads every time, or whatever threads I need to do. So that's going to be there. And then I'm going to have a grinder, because the grinder is going to be there for these parts that come from the laser cutter are going to have tabs on it, so I need to grind the tabs off. So I'm going to go to Harbor Freight and get a little desktop one there, and then I need a horizontal bandsaw or a hot saw, one of the two, probably a bandsaw, a small tabletop horizontal bandsaw, and then maybe a little mini lathe. We'll see. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get it all to fit on this 8-foot long table, 96-inch long table. And obviously it's very shallow here. It's only 22 inches tall, and I think it's 20 something, so maybe a little bit deeper, all the way up to the sheetrock. So obviously going to take that thing out, so that's going to be like storage of my parts, you know, all the parts that go to a certain stuff. And then there's going to be sections, right? For example, here would be multi-shooter stuff, here would be eco-based stuff, and then like maybe here would be the extruder. So stuff like that. Also, I'll have some storage over here too as well, so maybe some storage in here and then have a machine here. So basically this whole side here, besides some permanent storage, so I have some Mustang stuff, obviously the glass, the Mustang glass and stuff like that. So once I'm finished with the Mustang, then all that stuff is not going to be there, and so probably all of this stuff will be on Dad's side over here. And we're getting him a toolbox that will go for his birthday, which is the 20th. We're getting him a toolbox that'll fit inside this upright here to this upright, a 67-inch long toolbox that'll go in here, that we can put everything in there. That'll take a lot of this. We'll lose a lot of shelving, but we'll be able to get a lot of stuff in there, and we could start taking stuff off the shelf and start throwing stuff away. Get this stuff, put it over there, and then this is gonna be my stuff. Obviously, this here is not so easily accessible, so that might be just long-term storage of some type. I might put like machines or something up there, something that I don't have to grab very often, or maybe machines here and material here, or probably machines in here. Have machines that are going out in there, and then obviously change this stuff up. So what I might do is I might put like car stuff up there, let's say. So again, this would be my side, and then that would be my dad's side. So we'll put only car stuff up there. For example, things like these. Things that I haven't worked on yet. That's stuff for my rabbit. So car stuff up there, and at the higher reaches put car stuff, right? And at the lower reaches put machine parts, and then here is going to be the welder, the Miller Auto Select, or I might go with some sort of all-in-one where you can do arc, MIG, TIG, and hopefully plasma. That would be nice. I haven't seen one. I don't know if there's one that even does that, but there's going to be a cart with a little ramp that goes up in here with this shelf gone and all the car stuff up there, and with my gas mix down there in it. And so it'll have my mask and all my stuff and all my apron and all that kind of jazz in there. So this would be a nice setup. I don't know what we're going to do with the Vidmar here. Whatever, I guess move that dad's side, or I don't know if he'll need it after he has a 67-inch toolbox over there. And then this toolbox I'll either give to my brother, or I'll take it with me wherever, put it over there back in the carport. And yeah, so this is going to be a nice little spot for me to work on these parts, and dedicated to that. So I started getting machinery. So I have first I'm going to get machinery for the oh, and also the water jet that I'm working on is going to be underneath the mill that goes here. So the CNC mill that goes there. So this basically this is the stuff that I'm getting the machines to do at first, which is mainly manual stuff. So just easy stuff, welding, that kind of jazz. So some stuff here, and then a cart over here, and then maybe like a little fold-out table. So I take the stuff off the table and I go over here and I flip out a table and I weld it. And so it just basically sits on the table. I can just put the clamp on the table, because I was welding this thing right there on the floor. So maybe something like that. So basically this area here and in here, to where I get the parts from the manufacturer and eventually manufactured over here in my water jet take the burrs off, taking the tabs off, clean it up, put it together, store it in here maybe, or wherever I end up storing the done pieces, and then move forward. So that is the idea. That is how it's proceeding. I am getting stuff ready to go. So right after I get this guy done, I've pretty much finished designing the expansion modules, which are the stand, the hopper, and I'm finishing up the motor. The motor is going to use a Harbor Freight low RPM drill, which is a quarter, 1 1/8 horse. That should be plenty fine for our application. So once that's done, full time on I am going to get a new full-time job, so that will pay for all this stuff. So I'll have a. Then I'm going on to the multi-shooter, and then the fill factory, or the EcoBase. I haven't decided yet. Probably the fill factory. Alright, so stay tuned. More updates coming, and I decided that right now I'm going to do an entire video talking about the reclaimer shredder. So stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more and more content, and possibly changing up the website out of the forum into a regular shop something. I'm still looking into it.